Do you ever feel overwhelmed by the ever-changing world of technology? Tech It Out can help make some sense of it all. Breaking down geek speak into street speak, technology columnist, author, and TV personality Mark Saltzman covers consumer technology each week for every listener. Mark tackles the latest news, reviews, and how-tos to help you understand what's hot, what's not, and why.
Hey everyone, welcome to Tech It Out. This is episode 278. Hope you're having a great day so far, and thank you for making Tech It Out a small part of it. Whether you're listening to this program on your local talk radio station or perhaps in podcast form, either way, thrilled to have you along. If you heard last weekend's show, I was broadcasting from Las Vegas from the annual Consumer Electronics Show, or CES, where more than 100,000 attendees crammed into the Las Vegas Convention Center and surrounding hotels and event spaces to kick the tires on tomorrow's tech today. It was great to be back in person. While tiring, of course, it was so fun to roam the nearly 4 million square feet of showroom floor space to visit the more than 3,200 exhibitors. Most, but not all, of today's Tech It Out show will be devoted to the 2023 CES, including a look at some quirky tech, which is what we'll start with in a minute. Later on in the show, I'll chat about some other cool and more practical picks. Also on today's Tech It Out, a look at a new dash cam for your car coming soon that can tell you on an app, maybe you're in your home or at work or at the mall, if someone is breaking into your vehicle in real time. So you can talk to them through the camera that the police are on their way in the hopes that they take off, of course. And video evidence is captured as well. Yes, even inside the vehicle. I spoke to Nextbase at CES in Vegas, so I'll play that interview today. Finally, we'll talk about cookies. No, not the delicious kind, the ones that you see pop up on the internet, and it asks you to accept them. I'll share what you need to know. That's a little bit later on. All of this and more on an all-new Tech It Out, powered by Asus for those in search of incredible, which I'll tell you more about shortly. But let's officially kick off the show. As I mentioned, most of today's Tech It Out will be tied to the 2023 Consumer Electronics Show. Allow me to start with one of the main shut the front door moments that I had, seeing a color-changing vehicle. Yes, this is both a quirky idea and a cool one, but you may have heard or have seen on TV or online the BMW i Vision DEE, and that's an acronym for Digital Emotional Experience. This is a concept car that can switch between 32 colors. So it's a mid-sized sedan that uses e-ink technology. I think 240 panels or something like that. Not unlike an e-reader, your Kobo or your Kindle, but it's color, but similar technology, but it lets you quickly switch between colors on the fly or a combination of them, and even changing the look of the wheels and the grille as well. So you can do this on an app or you could do this on the dashboard. If you can't decide between, a red sedan and a blue car, you can have your cake and eat it too. Obviously the joke, if this is a getaway car, you just robbed a bank, well, you could just change its color to avoid the, the police APB kind of thing. So at last year's CES, and I only covered it virtually, as I mentioned earlier, I didn't end up going in person last year, BMW had another concept car called the iX Flow that could change between black, white, and gray. And that was cool. But I predicted a year ago that, hey, color is coming, because why just do black, white, and gray when you can do full color? And that's exactly what the BMW i Vision D was able to do. Really cool. Speaking of color-changing technology, LG showed its Mood Up refrigerator at CES 2023. It has 4 huge panels on the front of it that can display bright colors through its companion app. So why would you want this? Well, along with matching and changing the decor to suit your kitchen, these 23 color options result in more than 190,000 total combinations. So you can have a real customized look to your kitchen with this bright and colorful fridge. So it's called the Mood Up for a reason, sets the mood for the party. After all, the action is often in the kitchen. And here's a tasty addition. The Mood Up fridge also houses a loud Bluetooth speaker, so you can wirelessly play music from a nearby smartphone, tablet, or laptop. And yes, the colored panels can also give you a light show and in time with the rhythm of the music. But there's a practical application too. For example, the fridge can blink to let you know that the door is slightly ajar, which is pretty neat. No price or availability availability has been announced just yet. But hey, color changing technology seems to be one of the trends at CES. So was virtual reality, right? So this is getting really popular. The metaverse is the buzzword. We're going to kind of live in both a physical and a virtual world in the near future, predicts many experts, including some very smart people like Mark Zuckerberg, who founded Facebook. So today in VR or virtual reality, you don that headset, right? And you can see 360-degree content by moving your head around. You can hear spatialized audio. So it sounds like that, I don't know, dinosaur is in front of you or that zombie is behind you. It plays with your brain because it's spatialized audio. And you can also experience touch or haptic feedback when you're touching items in the virtual worlds. But smell may be next. At CES last week, OVR Technology was there. They're a Vermont-based startup that focuses on digital scent technology. And they chose CES to launch their latest product called the Ion 3. It's a wearable cartridge-based scent solution that is optimized for virtual and augmented reality. And there's other ways you can use it too, but they were showcasing it in VR, where it resembles kind of an old school headset that goes behind your neck and one arm extends to sit just below your nostrils. And the device connects wirelessly to your headset and can emit aromas, like perfume, if you will, in different combinations to create thousands of unique scents. For example, if you are in a meditation or mindfulness application in VR, which are a popular download, it looks like you're sitting on top of a mountain and verbally you're being walked through this calming exercise. Imagine you can smell, say, lavender, and then it changes to vanilla, for example, kind of like essential oils, but synchronized with what you're experiencing in VR. Or you're playing a first-person shooter, you're shooting against aliens, you can smell gun smoke while you're engaged in a heated skirmish, that kind of thing. Let's see if it actually comes out, though. I remember CES back in 2001, so 22 years ago, where I sat through the demo of a company called DigiSense and their iSmell computer accessory that was more or less the same idea. If you landed on a website like, I don't know, roses.com, you would smell roses near your computer, but that company folded before the product was released. If you're just joining us, I'm giving a couple of quirky highlights from the 2023 Consumer Electronics Show that I attended last week. I broadcasted this show from Las Vegas, but now I'm back and going through a couple of weirder picks from last week, the strange, the wacky, the wild products from CES. Let me know what you think on social media, by the way. Drop by and say hi. I'll spell my name in a moment, but I'm on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Tell me what you think of these gadgets from CES. And if you would actually buy any of them, it's Mark Saltzman, MarkSaltzman. So again, that's Mark with a C, Saltzman with a Z. Let me know what you think. Would love to hear from you online right now. All right, here's a couple of other weird gadgets from the show. How about a breathing pillow? This is, obviously something strange, but oddly soothing to help reduce anxiety and induce calm. It's from a Japanese company called Yukai Engineering, and the product is called Fuffly, F-U-F-U-L-Y. It's a soft pillow that breathes when you hug it. So what that means is this cushion concept subtly expands and contracts to imply inhaling and exhaling. And it'll transition from a normal breathing state to a more relaxed one in the hopes that the human hugging it or spooning with it will join in with that slower cadence and put you in a more relaxed state. That's the idea, that the gentle rhythmic pulsation of this pillow is meant to provide comfort and lull you to sleep, perhaps. I'm going to get to a gadget in a moment that lets your dog text you, believe it or not, but you may have heard of this one. Withings, which is a French company best known for their Wi-Fi bathroom scales, showed off its U-Scan sensor. It's a puck-shaped device that sits inside your toilet bowl and, well, it analyzes your urine. So it's a hands-free pee tester that looks at your nutrition and metabolic health, checking your pH, ketone, protein, vegetable balance, and vitamin C levels, and more, while a second monitor is dedicated to reproductive info, focusing on women's hormones for ovulation cycles. The information is then relayed to your smartphone. Thankfully, you don't need to touch this thing that's in your toilet. So then you can access all that info on the U-Scan app. The company says each sensor promises early detection of potential health issues and can automatically detect the difference between different individuals in a single household. Of course, what good is that gadget if different people are peeing on it and it doesn't know who may have the health issue? Anyhow, the U-Scan will cost about $500 when it's released later this year. And finally, wouldn't it be cool if your dog can text you? A company called Fluent Pet showcased its upgraded Fluent Pet Connect communication system, which lets pet owners program these paw-sized push buttons with simple words like walk or water or outside or play or something like that as examples. Then, after you've trained Fido, with 70% of dogs learning at least 2 words within a month, the company says, your furry friend will then press one of the buttons on the spongy hexagonal tiles. It's again a paw-sized button, and you'll be notified on your phone what your dog wants. So your dog needs to pee, it presses a button and it tells you on an app. Very, very cool. It's available now actually for pre-order. Again, it's called Fluent Connect. It should ship by February for $160. Well, there you have it, a look at some of the more quirky gadgets unveiled at the 2023 Consumer Electronics Show last week. Later on Tech It Out, I'll share some of my top, let's call them more practical picks. We'll also chat with Nextbase about the company's next dashboard camera, or dash cam, with lots of innovative features. And speaking of innovation, this show, Tech It Out, is powered by ASUS for those in search of incredible. They're going to be my guest on next weekend to talk about their highlights from the 2023 Consumer Electronics Show, including the latest in laptops and desktops. But be sure to check out their gear at asus.com/US/radio. That's asus.com/US/radio. When we return, we chat with Nextbase on Tech It Out. Stay with us.
Listen to Tech It Out whenever you want. Find the Tech It Out podcast at iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome back to Tech It Out. I'm here with Sam Lewis, lead senior developer at Nextbase, of course, the company best known for their dash cams, dashboard cameras. And at CES 2023, there's been quite a bit of buzz about their IQ dash cam, which has some intelligence to it, as the name suggests. Sam, it's great to chat with you. How's your CES going so far?
Very busy. Wall-to-wall meetings all day.
Yeah, so I've been broadcasting beside you here at the broadcast tower 2 days in a row. So I've seen the amount of traffic here. Thanks for carving out some time to chat. This is airing a week after CES, but I'm really excited about this particular dash cam because it kind of brings it to the next level. Before we get to it, for those who know what a dash cam is, but they may not know what some of the features are that they should look for, why don't we cover those and then getting to the IQ, which is really exciting here.
Of course. So, I mean, IQ is really more than just a dash cam. It records your journey, so if you have any accidents or crashes, then you've got the video ready for your insurance company, maybe the police. But the thing that makes IQ special is it's directly connected to the cloud. So whereas with a dash cam, you find out about something when you get back to your car.
Yeah, it's local storage.
Exactly. It's stored on a local SD card. You can transfer it to the app, but only when you're with the camera. With IQ, it's connected to the cloud. So anything that happens, you get a notification on your phone, you can live view the video, you can have a two-way conversation with whoever's in the car, and it really just makes the experience a lot better.
All right, so there's a video that's playing outside your booth that I see of a woman who looks at her phone and she notices that there's a dude in her car. Presumably she's, I don't know, let's say she's at a mall or something or at work, and she can talk two-way, like kind of like a video doorbell, right?
Yeah, exactly. So you can see someone in your car and you can tell them to go away. I'm watching you. This is a bad idea to talk to get my car.
Yeah, you're on video and I'm going to share it with the authorities if you don't get the hell out.
Exactly that.
Okay, great. By the way, for our listeners that are hearing banging, I noticed there's like this punching game behind. So you've had to work in this environment all week.
Yes. Oh, yeah. So there's a punch bag, test your strength, see how hard you can hit the ball.
And let's put it right beside the Nextbase booth.
Right outside the room we do the interviews in. Perfect place.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you're a good sport, Sam. And again, so this product is called the Nextbase IQ. Is this coming out anytime soon?
Yeah, it'll be available to purchase this spring, and it's going to start at under $500.
Okay. Tell me about this Guardian mode that the IQ has.
So quite often you end up leaving your car with someone you might not know, or maybe you lend it to a child. So say you leave your car at the valet. You want to know if they drive your car this far away. They're faster than, say, 75 miles an hour.
Yeah, I kind of want to know that.
Exactly. And Guardian mode allows us to do just that.
I have two 20-year-olds and an 18-year-old. Before I hand my keys over to them, I'm going to tell them, hey, don't speed. If they do, I'll know. Is that fair?
Yeah, exactly. You'll get a notification through on your phone and you can see what they're doing. Again, you've got the two-way audio. You can remote in. You can say, I can see you, slow down.
Big brother, right. And what about the cloud storage? Often, if you do buy a video doorbell, for example, consumers may not know that you have to pay in order to go back in time. Is that similar in this case?
Yeah, absolutely. So we rely on 4G connectivity to access the internet, and of course there are fees that are associated with that. So our subscriptions start at under $10, and we are going to be offering a basic free plan. So if you just want the best dash cam we offer, you can have this product and it will be the best of the best.
Okay, thank you for that. And then the IQ also has something called witness mode. What's that all about?
So witness mode is something we came up with to try and protect you if you have a situation where you feel vulnerable on the road. So this might be getting pulled over by the police, this might be being involved in a road rage incident, but what you do is you say, hey IQ, start witness mode. It's then going to start live streaming to the cloud and send a link to your emergency contacts. So they'll receive an SMS message or a push notification, they can live watch the event and just be your independent witness live in the moment.
Yeah, I like that. And could that video be archived in the event that you need it to be?
Absolutely. So all of that video will be saved to the cloud. So even if someone takes your dash cam as a result of one of these incidents, the video's there, you've got it, it's safe.
Okay. Before we wrap up, Sam, those who are looking for a dash cam from Nextbase, maybe before the IQ comes out, tell us about some of the interesting features that are now available. For one, I would say parking mode is kind of neat. Could you elaborate on what that is?
Yeah, so we've really focused on making parking mode as good as it can be. In a traditional dash cam, it starts recording once movement is detected by the camera. So someone hits your car, the camera then wakes up, starts recording, and you generally get a lovely video of someone driving away from your car. With IQ, we've got this new technology called spatial awareness. This allows us to track people and cars around the car before they actually touch the car. So we can wake up, start recording, and what that means is you get the before, the during, and the aftermath of the event.
But again, I mean, this is sort of painfully obvious, but the dash cam has to be pointing in a particular direction. So it's not like the entire vehicle. It's just only if the dash cam sees it. How many degrees would you say is that view?
So this product's actually our biggest coverage yet. So we've got 150 degrees field of view on the front. We also include the cabin view by default, which has got 190 degrees. So that lets us see everything that happens in the car and out the side windows. We're also adding an accessory rear window camera, which will add another 150 degree field of view out the back.
And then when it comes to image quality on any dash cam our listeners are considering, why don't we end off on that? 4K is obviously better than 1080p. You'll be able to maybe make out, say, like the license plate clearer. Is that fair? Like, what resolution should you look for when you're buying a dash cam?
Honestly, the higher the resolution, the better. So if you can afford a 4K one, definitely do it. You have a much better chance of being able to see number plates, people's faces. 1080p will work. You'll still see the view. You'll still have evidence in case of a crash, but you might not get all the detail that you will with the 4K.
Sam, it's great chatting with you. I hope you have a great rest of your CES. Thanks for carving out some time to chat.
Thanks a lot. It's been a pleasure.
Nextbase.com has more. Speaking of CES, the Consumer Electronics Show, I'm going to share a few highlights from my vantage point when we return on Tech It Out. I already shared a few quirky kind of items that I found on the showroom floor in the first block, but coming up, it'll be more of my best of show, if you will. We're also going to talk cookies, not the edible kind, but what you need to know about those web-based pop-ups you get. You are listening to Tech It Out on the Radio American Network. I'm your host, Mark Saltzman. Stick with us. We're going to be right back with more.
Want to follow Mark? Google him. Mark with a C and Saltzman with a Z. Breaking down geek speak into street speak. This is Tech It Out. Tech It Out with technology columnist, author, and TV personality Mark Saltzman.
Welcome back, everyone. You're listening to Tech It Out. So as I mentioned earlier in the show, I've recently returned from the 2023 Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas. I had a lot of fun playing around with a ton of tech toys, most of which are not available just yet. Let's start with the Yoga Book 9i from Lenovo. As a computer user, I'm always enthralled by these new designs and innovative new takes on form factors. So this is the world's first full-size dual-screen OLED laptop. So it's super versatile as it can be used used in innovative ways, like a dual screen tablet, two 13.3-inch screens that are connected. Or you can use the bottom screen like a virtual keyboard if you want to lay it flat on a table or desk, and like a clamshell laptop, but the bottom keyboard can be digital and you can have different characters and languages and things like that. Or you can place the physical keyboard, which is included, on top. It magnetically attaches to the laptop so you can use it like a traditional one. Or imagine doing a Zoom call on one half of this tablet, yet jotting down notes with the stylus pen also included on the other half. It's really cool. You have to see it for yourself if you want to Google Yoga Book 9i. Great for productivity and entertainment. This will be out in June. A new smartwatch caught my eye from Citizen. It's the CZ UQ smartwatch that leverages IBM Watson machine learning with NASA technology. So it's a wearable self-care advisor, if you will, that doesn't just monitor your activity, health, and sleep, but gives you real-time biofeedback. It can predict patterns, such as fatigue, and gives you customized insights and strategies to be your best self. The CZ UQ companion app gives you a deeper dive on all this information. It's out in March for $3.99 to start. A couple of smart home gadgets for the outside of your home. One is the Schlage & Code Plus Smart Wi-Fi Deadbolt. This smart lock gives homeowners a convenient and secure way to access their home, and one of the first to support Apple's latest HomeKit update. So you can use your Apple Watch, you can use a smartphone. It doesn't have to just be iPhone, it works with Android as well. There's a keypad that you can type in if you don't have a physical key with you. You can use the app to get into your home. Email somebody a temporary e-key to get in, such as a technician, a dog walker, or babysitter. Or if you have a smart speaker, you could use your voice to lock the door at night before you go to sleep, for example. Super versatile. Love this Schlage & Code Plus Smart Wi-Fi Deadbolt. It will be available in early 2023 for about $3.99. Also for the outside of your home, Moen has added a lot of technology to the inside of your home, such as hands-free faucets and a smart shower. But for the outside of your home is this Best of 2023 CES Innovation Award nominee. It's a smart sprinkler system from Moen. It's a controller and smart soil sensors. So it can save you money on water and significantly cut down on usage as your lawn gets the precise amount of water it needs only when it needs it. Wireless soil sensors can monitor soil moisture and temperature and automate the sprinkler job, or turn itself off if it rains. So you can set it and forget it, or take greater control with the app. Again, that's from Moen. I was impressed with a couple of TVs. One was the LG Signature OLED M. This is the world's first TV that lets you wirelessly transmit video and audio up to 4K resolution and up to 120 Hertz in motion from what's called a Zero Connect box, which you can place elsewhere in your home and connect your devices to it, like your cable box, your video game console, Blu-ray player, and so on. That means there's no clutter in and around the TV itself. It's got this beautiful minimalist design. You just need the one plug to go in the wall for power, but that's it. Along with its huge 97-inch OLED screen, it also boasts a gorgeous design, as I've mentioned. It has won multiple awards here at CES for sure. Again, it's the M3 model of the LG Signature OLED M 97-inch wireless OLED TV. Another cool and huge TV is the TCL QM8 Mini LED TV. TCL took the wraps off its flagship television, this QM8 series TV that fuses two different interesting technologies. Mini LEDs, so that doubles the peak brightness and has more than 2,300 dimming zones to give you better control over brightness and contrast as well, but also fusing that with quantum dot technology for richer colors. It's going to be available in sizes ranging from 65 inches all the way up to 98 inches for this TCL model coming out this year. The company also spent a lot of time on its ambitious TCL Green campaign to raise recycling awareness, promote energy efficiency, and reduce greenhouse gas emissions. A couple of neat camera technologies to share with you. One is we've been hearing a lot about the metaverse and virtual reality content leading into the Consumer Electronics Show, of course, but much of the focus has been on consuming this content. What about creating part of this next generation of the internet? Well, Canon unveiled here the world's first digital interchangeable lens to enable stereoscopic 3D recording, 180-degree virtual reality shooting to a single image sensor. So it's not a camera, it's a lens that works with Canon EOS cameras. It's called the Canon Dual Fisheye lens. that lets EOS owners unleash their creativity and push their artistic boundaries when creating this 3D content, which is really cool. And speaking of cameras, Pixie is here with its Pixie Play and Pixie Friends. Now, these introduce the first AI smart baby camera with companion toys. So the Pixie Play camera can recognize each AI-linked stuffed toy and play special tunes when it's held up to the camera. So it's very magical for the kids. And they're very cute plush toys on top of that. And the Pixie Smart Baby Monitor helps translate various baby cries as well. So there's a more practical application too. So mom or dad will get a notification on their app with the cry decoder technology. Again, AI or artificial intelligence at work here, suggesting why the baby in the nursery, such as standing up in their crib, is crying. Maybe they're tired, maybe they're hungry, maybe they had hurt themselves. You're going to be notified, which is really neat. Again, that's the Pixie Play and Pixie Friends. And there was a lot of automotive tech at the show, but something a little bit more practical that I want to end off with, and that's for listeners right now who have a truck or RV, an SUV, or an off-road vehicle and have lousy reception where you live or where you commute through. And this is the SureCall Fusion to Go OTR. So it's a high-performance cell phone booster for these kinds of vehicles. It works with 4G LTE and 5G phones, regardless of the make and model of the phone, and it doesn't matter which carrier you're with, and it supports multiple devices, even hotspots, so no more missed or dropped calls, which can be embarrassing. It also strengthens text and data for your passengers, and it's got a durable weather-tested antenna for the outside. It's $529 for the SureCall Fusion to Go OTR, but they have a less expensive model for regular sedans, and they also have stationary models for homes, cottages, cabins, summer homes, that kind of thing. Very cool, and that's from SureCall. So as you can see, no shortage of awesome tech at the 2023 Consumer Electronics Show. Hope you've been enjoying the coverage this hour, but we're not quite done yet. When we return on Tech It Out, we're going to shift gears and talk with a company called TrackDDB about cookies, what you need to know when you accept them, if and when you accept them when you're online, and what that means in plain English. So stay with us. We'll be right back with more Tech It Out.
Breaking down geek speak into street speak. Tech It Out, hosted by Mark Saltzman.
Welcome back to Tech It Out. A huge and sincere thank you to Visa for your partnership on this program. Did you know that online shoppers are 3 times more likely to enter an unfamiliar store if it displays a Visa logo? And customers are 5 times more likely to think a merchant is reputable. This is because Visa has invested over $10 billion in fraud prevention. So you don't need to think twice about shopping at retail or online with your Visa card, nor should businesses be concerned about secure payments. Visa is deploying advanced technology to ensure customer data is not vulnerable, no matter where transactions take place. This includes tokenization, pioneered by Visa as part of the solution, which reduces the risk of identity theft because this technology replaces your cardholder info with a random alphanumeric code, so the merchant never sees your actual card number, yet ensures a fast transaction too. To learn more about Visa's work in protecting you and your purchases, visit visa.com/security. That's visa.com/security. Let's continue on with the show. Many of us love cookies, of course, but when it comes to spending time online, cookies mean something else altogether. In fact, you may have noticed that you've been asked to accept cookies a lot lately, yet no delivery comes to your door with freshly baked goods, right? What's with that? Well, for a delicious chat about web cookies and what you need to know about them, we're joined by Paul Tedesco. He is president of TrackDDB North America. Hi, Paul. Thanks for your time.
Hey, Mark. Thank you. I'm really glad to be here.
Yeah, me too. I'm looking forward to our chat. I'll ask you to tell us what TrackDDB is all about in a couple of minutes from now. But why don't we start off with what I brought up off the top? I think my listeners have seen these pop-ups when they're on a website, more now than ever, I'd argue, asking us to accept cookies on that site. What is a cookie exactly? And why are we seeing these pop-up requests for permissions so often?
Yeah, so, cookies themselves are a way to track you as you navigate around the web. Essentially, it's a small file. It's placed on your computer or your mobile device, and it allows companies to remember you, see and tie together what activities you're doing on the web, what you search for, what websites you visit, what pages you stay on the longest, what videos you watched. They use them to understand your behavior with the goal of improving your web browsing experience and, well, to be honest, to sell advertising that is specifically targeted to you.
And that's what I thought, Paul, but there are different types of cookies, right? Again, just to stick with the fun analogy, it's like Chips Ahoy versus Oreo. They're both cookies, but they are a little bit different. So what are the different types out there that we should know about?
Yeah, they're basically divided into two types. The first one is first-party cookies, and first-party cookies are the ones that are placed on your device by a website that you're actually visiting. So remembering your Amazon password or something like that. The second kind, which is the one that has all the controversy and why you're being asked about the tracking, is third-party cookies. And these are placed on your device by advertisers, data partners, and different analytics tools to track you across multiple websites and throughout your web journey. So it should be noted that when you accept these cookies, it essentially gives that website the right to use and sell your browsing behavior to an advertiser or data partner.
Yeah, so that sounds scary, I think, to a lot of listeners. But on the flip side, you're going to see ads anyways. It might as well be relevant to what you're interested in, but we'll get there in a moment. But I do like your other example of a cookie where, out of convenience, that website, like Amazon, for example, will remember your password for you so you don't need to type it in every time, so long as you're the only user on that computer. Most of the cookies that I think our listeners are familiar with want to know your web browsing behavior so that they can market information to you or products to you. So before we continue, though, Paul, how does TrackDDB fit into all of this? What does your company do exactly? And congrats, by the way, in becoming president over the last year.
Thank you, Mark. So TrackDDB is a marketing services company. We specialize in using data, technology, and creativity to help our clients make these meaningful connections using data with customers. And our whole goal is to provide some kind of an equitable value exchange. So we use data to create personalized, relevant engagement. So if you're in an app or you're on email or websites, and we strive to use these tools to use marketing as a value creator. So we're trying to cut out the clutter and spam and make things instead incredibly relevant. So providing an airline passenger with notification of a seat sale to a destination they want to go to, or a car owner with reminders for service on their specific car, or letting a regular restaurant customer know that there's a limited time meal available that they're interested in.
All right. So I know a lot of our listeners run a business. So this is a B2B company, if that's fair. So you work with companies opposed to being a consumer-facing brand.
Yeah. So we're the link between like consumer packaged goods companies or brands and their customers.
Got it. So what should people be doing? Why don't we cut to the chase? Should we accept all of these cookies, even though we don't really understand the legalese, I'm sure? Or can we accept some and reject others?
Yeah. So, firstly, if you reject all cookies, you're still being tracked, right? Like, cookie is not the only tool that is being used to track people. So choosing to accept or reject a cookie should be a personal preference. But by sharing your data with companies, whether you're on a computer, tablet, mobile device, or a smart speaker or other home technology, you should look at it as what should you expect of value in return. You need to make a decision which ones you accept and which ones you reject.
Okay. And we're going to dive a bit deeper into that in a moment. We are chatting with Paul Tedesco, president of TrackDDB North America. We're talking about cookies. You may have seen more lately than in the past for you to accept these cookies when you're on a website on your phone or tablet or laptop or desktop, asking you if you should accept them. And if so, accept them all, accept some of them. So we're learning what a cookie is exactly in this context. When we return, we're going to continue chatting with Paul Tedesco from TrackDDB about whether your smart TV, your smart speakers, your phone, are they always listening and then dishing up relevant information for you? Is it a coincidence that you had a conversation about traveling somewhere, then you see ads for a resort? We're going to get to all of that when we return on Tech It Out. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Follow Mark Saltzman on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. Listen to Tech It Out whenever you want.
We're chatting with TrackDDB. We've got on the line Paul Tedesco about cookies, with a lot of notifications popping up asking you to accept them on your devices these days. Now, Paul, this leads me to my next question. My friends swear that if they have a conversation with their phone nearby, like, I don't know, talking with their partner about a trip they want to take to, say, Aruba, then they will see advertisements online about Aruba, or at least travel or the Caribbean or something like that. So that begs the question, are our phones really listening all the time? And what about smart speakers and smart TVs too, especially those that have a voice remote?
Yeah. So, Mark, this is an incredibly contested topic. And the reason it is because the answer is yes and sometimes no. But if you use a virtual assistant, for instance, smart TVs are always being tracked. If you use a virtual assistant based on voice, they're always listening. I mean, think about it. They have to be there ready for you to say, hey, Google.
Yeah, the wake word. Right.
Yeah. So they're always kind of listening. But once you start using them, it's very similar to a search engine or a cookie on a website, where it's now listening to what you're saying, what you're asking, and what the answer to the question is and how you react to it. So yes, it is listening. If I can tell you a little bit of a story. So I'm on the faculty at the DeGroote School of Business for McMaster, and I teach a number of courses on data and technology in the MBA and EMBA programs. And every year we do a similar test, because I've had Google in my classroom and I've asked them directly, and they have skirted the answer as to whether they're always listening. And every year we do a test, and we literally pick some random unexpected topics like rental cars in Tunisia or how to buy Viagra without a prescription. And every year my students continue to come back with ads for those things on their devices. Now, I can't guarantee that it's because the phones were listening to us, but it seems pretty suspicious to me.
Yeah. I also, as a tech journalist, I've written about this over the years, and Google and Amazon have said it's always listening for the wake word, but it's not always listening to your conversations and dishing up relevant ads. Only once you initiate that wake word, if you start asking a question or giving a command, and if it is tied to, say, you're sticking with Google as an example, you're logged into the same account as your Chrome browser on a PC, then yes, but that's only after you've initiated the wake word and then you start talking. It's not always listening to your conversations. But it does seem a bit suspect that if I say something odd, like, I don't know, garden hose, that I do start seeing ads about a garden hose. It could also be not just the operating system like Google or Apple or Amazon, but it could be the apps we use too, right? In all fairness. So for example, if your student said they are seeing ads about Viagra popping up, it may be because they had, I don't know, Instagram open or something.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, you're being tracked in so many different ways. I mean, everything you do on the web or on your computer or on your mobile device, you think about smart TV, because if you've signed into your smart TV account, it's tracking every TV show that you watch.
So what do you think about Apple? I think it was in the spring of 2021, they asked users on iPhone and iPad if they wanted not to be tracked. And I heard that Facebook lost literally billions of dollars in advertising when that started happening. What should we do if we're asked not to be tracked?
I think it's a personal preference, and I think people have to decide. I like being tracked because I like the relevance of the information, but it's true that entire model of advertising is based on the fact that you can target and specifically engage an audience of your choosing. So if I am a company that sells diapers, I can go to Facebook and say, give me anybody who has anything to do with diapers. Now, Apple says you can't be tracked, but Facebook still has all the information of what you do on their platform.
Yeah, what you click like on, your comments. Yeah. It's funny, Paul, that you use the example of diapers, because I asked not to be tracked when I installed Words with Friends, like a Scrabble-like game.
Yeah.
And because I did that, I'm seeing ads for diapers, yet my kids are 20, 20, and 18. So not relevant to me, in other words. That's because I asked not to be tracked. You're still going to see ads because the people that made this free game need to be compensated in some capacity, but they're just not relevant to me. So I'm kind of torn. On one hand, as someone concerned about privacy and security, I like using a VPN, for example, a virtual private network, to make it look like I'm from somewhere else in another country surfing the web, so I can remain anonymous while I'm online. But on the flip side, I'm going to see ads anyway. Might as well have them relevant to what I'm interested in.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I'm personally in favor of heavier restrictions on cookies, the whole demise of the third-party cookie that Google and Apple are kind of working on and not being tracked. But I really think there's a lot of hope. And I think of what Tim Berners-Lee, the inventor of the internet, is currently doing with his company Signal, where basically what he's saying is, we're going to create an interface between you and everything you do, where all of the data remains in that interface and you can choose what is released and what is not.
Thank you so much for carving out some time to chat. Paul Tedesco has been our guest, president of TrackDDB North America. What's the best website for us to learn more?
TrackDDB.com, Mark, is the best place. And thank you so much for inviting me.
Thanks again, Paul. Be well.
Thanks, Mark. Same to you.
And thank you for tuning in to Tech It Out, and a huge thank you to ASUS, the title sponsor on this program. Head over to asus.com/US/radio to tech out their laptops and desktops. Have a great rest of your day, everyone. Catch up with you next weekend for another episode of Tech It Out. Bye-bye for now.